Okay, so this is our easy morning flow class, which is a gentle kind of beginner level mat class on the floor. So we will start on our backs with our knees up and kind of go slow and easy today. All right, so go ahead and you don't need any props, just your yoga mat, and your breath. So get yourself settled on your back. And I'm not using any music today. I've got some feedback that the music is a little distracting. So if you like having music while you're practicing your yoga, of course, have your music in the background anytime. But for the moment, let's just get settled here. And take a couple of deep breaths and maybe allow yourself to sigh out loud. Feels so good to sigh. We don't have to be upset or frustrated. Every now and then we just need to let all that air out. And it's interesting that sometimes our emotions come out with that big sigh. So do that a couple more times. And then just allow yourself to move into your normal breathing pattern. Take a minute and feel your feet on the floor. Feel your low back. Your upper back. The backs of your arms. And the back of your head. And then feel your breath. We're bringing ourselves present into this moment, letting go of anything outside of our room. Wherever we are, we're letting that go. We are just on our yoga mats with our breath in our bodies. And our first movement today is to simply bring your right knee up toward your chest and just hold on lightly and take a few breaths. And then slide your hands around behind your right thigh and straighten your leg up. And if it's comfortable, flex your foot. If that's not comfortable, just relax your ankle. When you flex your foot, you lengthen your calf muscle, and sometimes you feel it behind your knee and maybe up into your hamstring. So just notice what feels good to you today. And then release your right foot back to the floor and lift your left leg up, holding on lightly, taking a few breaths. And then slide your hands around behind your left thigh and lift your left leg up and flex your foot if it's comfortable. And then release your left foot back to the floor. Reposition your low back if you need to, so it's nice and comfortable. Take your arms out into a T position with your palms facing up. And then slide your arms up so they're in a nice big V position. So now you're starting to feel your chest, your underarms, and your shoulders. And then bend your elbows as you bring your hands in towards your head, and then slide your arms up overhead. You may lift your arms up off the floor. You want the backs of your hands resting on the floor so that you get a nice deep, long stretch around your sides, your shoulders, your underarms. You may feel your back start to arch. And breathe into it. Relax into it. And then see if you can get your hands together overhead, palms together into a prayer position. And as you inhale, lift your arms up. And as you exhale, bring both knees up and hold on to both knees. Pull them in a little tighter than you did before, and then rock side to side. And then we're going to bring our feet to the floor one more time with our knees up. We're going to do some windshield wipers next. So reposition your back, lift and lower so that you've got a nice flat foundation here on your back. And then let your knees start to move side to side. And it doesn't have to be a big movement. It can be small. You'll know. Your body will tell you when it's time to stop. So just move side to side gently and slowly. Stretching out the sides of your hips. Up into your sides and maybe into your low back. And see if you can inhale as your legs come up. Exhale as your legs come down. The next time your legs come to the right side, let them stay there for 3 breaths. And your legs do not need to touch the floor. Just let them kind of hover wherever they land. Feel that nice long stretch. And of course, if this doesn't feel comfortable, lift your legs back up and come back to neutral. And then to come out of this safely, we're going to slide the right hand underneath your right thigh and lift your legs up. And then repeat on the left side. So 3 breaths. When you're ready to come up, slide your left hand underneath your left thigh. Lift your legs up. Reposition your back one more time. And then knees to chest again. Just one more time. This time pull your knees in a little tighter. And rock side to side if you want to, or you can just hold your knees. And now from this position with our feet back on the floor, we're going to come over onto our sides and make our way up to a sitting position. So roll to one side, use this top arm, top hand to lift yourself up. And then we'll come up into a sitting cross-legged position. Easy pose. And as we know, this isn't easy for everyone. So we just want to make it as comfortable as possible. And get yourself grounded here. Feel your sitting bones. Sit up tall, relax your shoulders. Take a couple breaths. And then we're gonna do some spinal rotations, sorry. Spinal rotations, just making some nice, easy circles. I do call this class Easy Morning Flow. So you may hear me say that word a few times. Easy, easy, easy. No stress, no worries. Make it easy. Inhale as you come up. Exhale as you come down. Flowing with your breath. One more time in this direction. And when you find yourself up in neutral, reverse. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. When you start to move with your breath, that's where you find the magic in yoga. It's where the magic starts to happen in your body because you've connected your body and your mind. Inhaling as you come up. Exhaling as you come down. Let's do that 2 more times. And the next time you come up to neutral, pause there. Relax your shoulders, relax your arms. Take a couple breaths. And now let's just do a few head circles. So nice and slow, feeling your neck. We'll do 5 in each direction. The next time your head comes down, pause there and reverse. You can also inhale as you come up and exhale as you come down. One more time. And when your head comes down again, just let it hang there. Relax your shoulders and feel the stretch in the back of your neck. And then on your next inhale, lift your head and exhale. Tip your head back just until you start to feel a stretch around your throat. We don't want to let our heads fall too far back because then we put too much pressure on our throat. So we just want to feel that length in those muscles along the sides of your windpipe. And then inhale back to neutral and let your neck rest. All right. So now we're going to do our side stretch and our spinal twist. With your right hand on the mat. Now, if you have a yoga block, you can also have a yoga block here if you like. That helps a little bit. And then lift your left arm up, reach it up, and then lean to the right. Now you're lengthening your left side. So we're not trying to get way down far. That doesn't help. We're reaching up, lengthening the left side. One more breath. And then inhale as you release your left arm down. Exhale, raise your right arm up, reach up, and lean to the left, lengthening your right side. Sometimes what happens in these side stretches is we sort of roll forward. That's kind of takes away from the stretch. So see if you can keep your body in one straight line. You almost want to push your right shoulder back just a little so you make sure you're in a nice straight line. You're not leaning forward. One more breath. And then on your next inhale, release your right arm down. This time when you exhale, just start to roll your shoulders. You can see your torso, or you can feel your torso start to move. Just feel your body starting to loosen up. And next, we're going to do our spinal twist. If your legs get tired of being crossed like this, it's okay to put the other leg in front. It's okay to straighten your legs. Please just be comfortable. So for spinal twist, we want to sit up tall and then just turn to the right. Let your hands land wherever they're comfortable. Usually my right hand lands on my left hand lands on my right knee, right hand behind me. And so you're twisting at the waist. And then once you get there, it's all about your breath. One more breath. And then on an inhale, start to come back to center. And as you exhale, continue over to the left side. Take your time. Your back needs to adjust. Remember to stay upright. You're not leaning back. You're not leaning sideways. You're twisting from the waist to the left side. Breathe into it. Feel yourself relax as you focus on your breath. Feel those muscles loosen up as you just naturally breathe. One more breath. And then on your next inhale, come back to center. And again, as you exhale, roll your shoulders. Move your ribs. Now we're going to straighten our legs out. Do one forward fold just to give our legs a little break from being all crossed up. But you might want to rub your legs, just get the blood flowing into your legs. And then when you're ready, put your legs together and flex your feet. I don't know if you can see my feet. Slide back. There we go. So feet are flexed, pulled back towards your shins, and you're sitting up nice and tall. Your hands are relaxed on your thighs or down on the floor next to you. This in itself is a stretch. This is called staff pose. So you can feel your thigh muscles engage. You hold your belly in and roll your shoulders back. You've engaged almost your whole body. And then from here, we inhale, we raise our arms up, and exhale, hinge at the hips. Come down as far as you can comfortably, and then let your arms come down, and that's it. That's your forward fold. Breathe into it. This is the first time we've stretched our low backs in this practice today. So usually low backs are pretty tight. So just listen to your body. One more breath. And then walk your hands up your legs. Relax all your leg muscles. Relax your core. We'll do one more pose here, and that's going to be butterfly pose. So you bring the soles of your feet together. You can slide your heels up towards your bottom as long as you can maintain your posture. If you start to slump forward, then just slide your feet out a little more. You can hold on to your ankles. Let your hands rest on your ankles, or bring your forearms to your knees. And sometimes we can do this mudra here, this okay sign. Take a few breaths. We're really stretching out our inner thighs. You may feel this in your outer thighs, around your hips. We'll take care of that in just a minute. One more breath. And now slide your hands underneath your legs, lift your legs up, and then we're going to come onto our hands and knees. So take your time, coming onto your hands and knees. And remember, your knees are under your hips, your wrists are under your shoulders, your fingers are spread wide, so that you can feel the four corners of your palms. And just start to move your hips side to side. So this is a counter pose to that butterfly that we just did. So now we're stretching out the outsides of our hips. The next time your right hip comes to the side, leave it there, stay there, and then turn your head just enough so you can look towards your left leg, left hip. Doesn't matter what you see. What matters is you're creating this arch in your left side. You're pressing into your right hip. And of course, we'll do the same on the other side. So inhale, come back to neutral. Exhale, left hip presses out, and then turn your head to the right. And then on your next inhale, come back to neutral and take a few breaths. Reset yourself if you need to. So next is cat and cow. We've been moving our back side to side. We've done our side stretch. Now we're going to move our spines up and down with cat cow. So for cat pose, you want to tuck your tailbone, round your back, and let your head drop down. And then for cow pose, it's just the opposite. Lift your tailbone. As you do, your belly will drop down and press your chest forward. Press your shoulder blades down your back. So you're opening up your chest and you feel your back arch. Feel your spine arching down. Keep your neck in neutral. You want to be able to freely move your head. And now we're going to move through these two poses with our breath. Inhaling to neutral. Exhaling to cat pose. Tuck your tailbone. Inhale, neutral. Exhale, cow pose. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. I'll do that 3 more times with your breath. Inhaling as you come to neutral and exhaling into each pose. After your next cow pose, bring yourself to neutral and then press back into child's pose. So for child's pose, your arms can be reached out, or you can cross your arms and let your head drop down. If child's pose isn't comfortable for you, you can always sit on your heels in hero pose. Right now, we're just resting. Let's take a couple more breaths. And then when you're ready, come all the way up onto your knees. So you're going to be standing on your knees. Let's see, you're going to lose me a little bit, but that's all right. I'll just move over here. Still not going to see my head, but that's okay. You know I'm here. So we're standing on our knees. We're going to do a baby camel. Curl your toes. Bring the backs of your hands to your low back. Press your pelvis forward and lift your chest. So as you lift your chest, you're naturally going to lean back slightly. You only want to go back a little ways, not too far. If you start going way back, you're going to lose your balance and you might hurt yourself. So just really pay attention to the edge of your comfort zone here. One more breath. And then from here, we're coming into downward facing dog, but let's take it step by step. Move your pelvis back in line with your spine. Move your chest back in line with your spine. Bring your hands down to all fours again. Curl your toes. Lift your knees and press back to downward facing dog. One more breath. And then drop your knees and come on back into child's pose. One more breath. And now we're going to move into another flow. And this one is going to start to feel like work. So come onto your hands and knees up to the top of your mat. And we're going to start in downward facing dog. So stretch your legs back, briefly come into plank pose, and then press up into downward facing dog. You're pushing your chest toward your thighs. Feel the stretch in the backs of your legs, whole back of your body. And then on your next inhale, shift your weight forward into plank pose. You can keep your knees up or drop your knees down, but either way, you want to hold your belly in. Keep your belly pulled in, keep it tight. And then relax your feet. If your knees are not down, go ahead and drop your knees. Press your chest forward into upward facing dog. So this is a nice back bend here. And then press back into child's pose again. And take a few breaths. So that was the first bit of work we've done, I think. And we're going to do it again. So that was 4 poses. So when you're ready, come on back to your hands and knees. Get ready for your downward facing dog. Starting in plank. And then press your bottom up, your chest toward your thighs. Keep your neck in neutral. You can turn your head side to side, no big deal. So don't tighten up your neck. One more breath. And then come back to plank pose. Knees up or knees down, either way is fine. You might start to shake a little. That's okay. You're just using your muscles, that's all. And then if you haven't already, drop your knees, press your chest forward, lift your head, press your chest forward, arch your back. Upward facing dog. And then finally back to child's pose. Child's pose or hero pose. You can rotate your wrists if you like. That feels good after all that. All right. So from here, we're going to stand up. We're going to go ahead and come up to a standing position. I need to move my screen, and we're going to do a warrior one flow today. So once you come up, come into mountain pose at the top of your mat. All right, I got a few extra pieces of stuff here on my desk. I'm getting in the way. Slide this back. All right, that's a little better. Okay. So coming into mountain pose. Remember, mountain pose is basically standing with awareness. Feet in line with your hip bones. So try not to have your feet turned out or turned in or 1 foot forward. You really want to be standing with dignity, as if you're standing at attention. Take a minute here. Relax your shoulders. Take a breath or two. And then step your right foot back and bend your left knee. Now I'm turning towards the camera. You can stay facing forward. In fact, I'm going to change my position here, just like this. So this is how warrior one looks from the front. Front knee is bent, back leg is straight. Hands can be on your hips, out to the sides, or up overhead. And this is warrior one. One more breath. And we're going to do another little chest opener, bringing your arms down by your sides, backs of your hands on your low back. Press your pelvis forward slightly so you start to create a little arch, and then lift your chest. Bring your elbows in closer to each other. They're not going to go far, but you can feel your chest start to open up. We all need that. We spend so much time hunched over our everything, our phones, our computers, our desks, everything. So anytime you get a chance to open your chest, do it. And now release your arms, release your shoulders, bring your arms down by your sides and back out in front of you for warrior one, back where you started. And then interlace your fingers, but keep your index fingers and your thumbs pointing out. You've created a capital L. Hold your belly in and then hinge at the hips about 45 degrees. So not all the way down, not even halfway, just about 45 degrees. You're reaching out at an angle. Breathe in and breathe out. And then when you're ready, bend your elbows, bring your hands to your heart and lift your torso back up. And then we're going to do a little twist to the left. So just turn your torso towards your left thigh. It's not a big movement. But you can feel a nice long stretch right here on the front of your right hip joint. All the way down your front of your thigh, your belly, your sides, and your back. And then inhale as you bring your torso back to neutral. And let's put our hands on our hips and then step forward back to mountain pose. And then once you get there, release your arms down, take a few breaths, relax your shoulders. Notice the different sensations in the two sides of your body. And then we're going to bring everything into balance when we do the same 4 poses on the other side. So when you're ready, step back with your left foot, bend your right knee, build your foundation. And so in Warrior One, sometimes we lean forward or back. We want to have our weight evenly distributed on both legs. This is not natural. It's not a natural position here. And so we really have to work to keep our weight centered. And now decide what you'd like to do with your arms. You know you have many options for your arms. Into Warrior One. One more breath. And then we're our little chest opener, bringing our hands to our low backs. Press your elbows in, that might be enough. And if you like, arch your back a little more and lift your chest. Take a few breaths. And then to come out of this safely, we release our elbows, release our arms, and then bring our arms out in front of us again into Warrior One. And then once you feel stable there, create your steeple hands again. Belly pulled in as you hinge at the hips. Your arms are straight, reaching out at an angle. Nice, a lot of energy here. Like you're really reaching out in front of you at a nice strong angle. Belly is pulled in. There's no name for this. I haven't thought of a name yet. It really does focus on your core muscles though. And then bend your elbows, bring your palms together, lift yourself back up to Warrior One. And this time we're twisting gently to the right. And taking a few breaths. And you can keep your chin lined up with your fingertips so you don't strain your neck. Just keep your neck in neutral. And then on your next inhale, rotate your torso back towards your right leg, towards neutral. Release your arms down and step forward back to mountain pose. Now let's just take a few breaths here. And then one time we'll inhale up overhead and exhale down to our hearts. And we're going to come down, back down onto our mats, and you can come right down onto your back. We're going to go right into our cool down. You might start with windshield wipers. Just letting your legs move side to side again, noticing how different your hips feel. Maybe you feel it more in your low back. And you can also come back to neutral. I'm just offering suggestions here. If there's something else you want to do, of course, this is your practice. My suggestion is knees to chest again, and maybe rock side to side this time. I'm just going to demonstrate a few other cool down poses. So I would say choose 2 or 3 that you like and spend maybe 8 breaths in each pose. So knees to chest is 1. Legs up in the air is another one. Happy baby pose is another one. You can hold on behind your knees or grab your feet. Butterfly. And then figure 4, crossing one ankle over the other thigh and lifting your legs up. And I'm just demonstrating here. You don't need to do all of these. And if you're doing this recording, then of course you could pause it, take your time, and enjoy each pose. Whatever you do on one side, make sure you do it on the other side. And now I'm going to be quiet. And you just do whatever feels good. Always be sure to leave at least a minute at the end to just rest. In a longer yoga class, we would spend 5 to even 7 minutes, maybe sometimes 10 minutes, just resting. Some people fall asleep, and that's okay. That's actually pretty good. So always take some time to rest at the end of your yoga practice. And when you feel ready, start to move, start to deepen your breath. Taking your time. Gradually bringing yourself up into a sitting position. And of course, this is up to you.